Very well. Come closer. The Hollow has something for you tonight. A new place to sleep. But the walls hold their breath. The floor doesn't creak. It sighs. And behind one drawn curtain, silence waits. Not emptiness, but something left. Behind. Folded. Sewn. Waiting. If your breath slows and the dark feels safe, follow my voice and subscribe if you want to hear what the shadows will tell next time. Tell me, where are you listening from? Now dim the lights. Perhaps light a candle and drift with me into the story. The apartment is nearly bare when you arrive. Walls the color of moth wings, a chipped sink, and windows that hum with city breath just beyond dotted fields unlived, but not unwelcoming. Like a dream that hasn't started yet, there are 4 rooms. 3 of them plain, with light dust and soft creaks, but the fourth has its door ajar. And beyond it, a stillness dot. It's not just quiet, it's held. Like someone pressed their finger to the air and said, "Hush, Dot, the floorboards there don't groan." The light doesn't shift, even your breath feels muffled in your own ears. There's only one thing in that room, a pair of tall, pale curtains, drawn tightly across the single window. They are strange, not in shape or color, a simple off-white, but in feeling. You stand near them and feel the hair on your arms rise, slowly. They reach from ceiling to floor, hem brushing the floorboards. And there's something stitched along the edges, a repeating pattern, tiny, looping, almost like runes. Or music. You touch them. They're warm. Not from sunlight. The window behind them glows faintly, but it's the wrong kind of light. Dim. Muted, heavy. You look behind the curtains, only for a second. Nothing there. Just another room, perhaps. Or your reflection. You don't remember. You blink, and it's gone. You draw them closed again. Instinct, not thought. That night, as you lie in bed in the next room, you realize you can hear the silence from that room. It isn't. Nothing. It sounds like nothing, but it feels like listening through a wall for something you're not supposed to hear. And the longer you listen, the more you wonder, was that curtain already there when you arrived? The lease didn't mention furniture. And the air inside. That room didn't feel like the rest of the apartment. You fall asleep with the door closed, but not locked. Not yet. The next day begins softly, but not cleanly. You wake slower than usual, like your body returned before your mind. And something tugs at the edge of your thoughts. A sound you were hearing in your sleep. A sound like fabric, breathing. You drift through the day with that weight in your chest. Not dread, exactly. More like the hush before someone speaks. You don't enter the room with the curtains. Not yet, but you do pass it. The door, which you're sure you closed, is open again, only slightly. And the air that seeps from the crack feels different, cooler. like old stone or deep cellars, but not stale. It carries something alive. That evening, the wind outside rises, a soft moan between buildings. You settle in the main room, trying to read, but your eyes keep drifting to the hallway. That door, that room, that curtain its midnight when you finally go. Not out of bravery, but because the feeling of not looking is worse than the risk of. Looking, you step into the room, bare feet on chilled wood, a stillness that feels listening. The curtains are closed as you left them, but moving, not waving, not blown, just as shifting. As if something behind them is moving slowly, deliberately, with care. You step closer, heart quiet, not fast, just aware dot, and then you hear it dot faint. So soft you think it's your own thoughts at first dot, but it isn't dot, it's a whisper. Not in any language, you know. Not really words. Just the shape of them, winding around your ears. Your name, almost, or the syllables of it. Rearranged dot you reach for the curtain, not to open it, just to touch it again. And when your fingers graze the fabric, they stop, because the thread is warm again dot. And this time, it's breathing, not air, but motion. The tiniest pulse beneath the seams. You pull your hand back, and in the dimness, you see something new. Near the base, at the hem, a dark thread running crosswise, just a single line of black. Where the rest are cream-dotted wasn't there before, or you didn't see it. You lean in and see that it's thicker than the others. Slightly rough. You touch it. It hums beneath your finger like a taut string on a broken violin. You whisper a question, though you don't mean to. What are you? The curtain stills dot utterly dot even the murmurs stop. And then, in the hush that follows, something presses back from the other side. A shape, just for a moment, like a hand, but not quite. Too long, too narrow, and the fingers don't end where they should. It fades again. You stumble back, not in fear, not yet, just in knowing that something has seen you, and that it isn't done. You close the door behind you. This time, you do lock it, and still, that night, you hear it again, soft threads rubbing. A name that isn't yours, but could be, if the syllables were arranged a little differently. You wait until morning, not because light makes you feel safer. It doesn't, but because it feels rude to call about something whispering in your curtains at night dot when the landlord answers. His voice is friendly enough, a little too quick. A little too polished, like a man used to smoothing over strange questions. You begin casually, just a mention of the back room, the curtains, whether they were left by the last tenant. There's a pause dot it shouldn't be long. It's only a curtain, but the silence stretches, just long enough to notice. He clears his throat dot says something like, "Oh, those yes, the ones in the study. They've always been there. Decorative, I think. Adds a bit of charm. You ask if you can remove them. Another pause. Shorter this time, but sharper. Well, you could, he says. But I wouldn't. The words are casual. The tone isn't. You press a little. Say they're oddly stitched, that they move. He laughs, not warmly. Old things like that, they tend to settle funny. Don't worry about it. You mention the window. Ask where it faces. There's a soft rustle, like he's checking papers, but it sounds more like someone standing up. The back of the building, he says, leads out onto the alley. Nothing much. You ask why there's no draft, no street light, no sound. He doesn't answer. You hear a faint breath on the line. Then don't open it. Not a warning, not a threat, just a fact. Cold, final. You blink dot and the call disconnects. Not ends, disconnects. Like something cut the line. That night, you stare at the door to the curtain room, still locked, still closed, and you think of the words he used. He didn't say can't, didn't say dangerous, just don't. You don't sleep easily. When you do, you dream of narrow hands stitching a face out of shadow. One that looks almost like yours. By now, the room no longer waits for you. It watches. That's how it feels when you pass its door in the morning. Like something just behind the curtain holds its breath and resumes whispering the moment your footsteps fade. You try to stay away, distract yourself. Coffee shops, parks, light, but the silence you left behind follows you. It threads into your coat sleeves. It hums in the shadow of your neck. You catch yourself glancing at curtains everywhere. Shop windows, bus stops, theater stages, looking for the same stitching. You never find it, only in that room. That afternoon, you return, not because you want to, but because something needs to be known. You unlock the door. The key turns too easily, like it never really locked anything. The room is unchanged, still, dim. Pressed down by something you can't name. You kneel by the curtain. This time, you don't touch it. You look, and you notice it. The hem, near the left side, low to the floor, bulges slightly, like something's been stitched into the fold. You pull it gently. The seam resists, not with force, with memory, as if it remembers being closed and doesn't want to forget. But the thread gives way. Inside, a shape, wrapped in thin, discolored cloth, smaller than your palm. You unwrap it slowly. A key old, iron twisted at the top like a root, or a flame frozen mid-dash flicker bound to it, is hair dark, fine. Tied in a knot so tight it has left an impression on the metal, and something else, a scrap of parchment, folded thrice, soft as moth wings. Blank at first glance, but when you tilt it toward the window light, a word surfaces. Handwritten, faint one name. Not yours. Not quite, but close enough to shiver your spine. It feels like your name's echo. You whisper it loud, and the curtain moves. Not a ripple, not a breeze dotted gathers dot like someone standing on the other side. Pressing closer. You don't open it, but you don't close the hem again. Either dot you leave the key out on the windowsill, just to see. When you return later, it's gone. The curtain hangs perfectly still. But the hem has been resewn, and the stitching has changed. Now it winds in a spiral that wasn't there before. You stand there for a long time, watching the fabric, listening for your name, and wondering what else might be folded inside. That night, you don't dream, not at first. You drift into a soft, blank hush, a breath that lasts for hours. No color, no motion, just the sense of waiting. But then, a room, not yours, but familiar. Walls the color of old teeth, wood floor, waxed and pale. And in front of you, the curtain, it breathes. Not fabric this time, lungs. The whole thing expands and contracts, like a body asleep on its side. You step closer, and your feet don't make sound. Nothing does behind the curtain. There is light, soft, golden, flickering, and a shadow moves across it. Someone or something on the other side. You reach up, not to open it, but to press your hand against it. And as your skin meets the fabric, you feel them, not their hand, their face, pressed to the same spot, skin to skin, through the veil. Their breath trembles against the fabric. Yours. Hold still. Then, a sound, not from the curtain, from inside your own mind. A whisper, a name, not yours, but it lands in your head like you've heard it all your life. A name wrapped in moss, in candle wax, in night. You say it aloud, and the world shifts. The curtain drops. The room behind it reveals itself, and it's your room. But not now, not quite. It's arranged the way it looked when you moved in. Boxes you've since unpacked, shoes you don't own, and in the center, you, but not asleep, sitting. Back to you, head slightly tilted, hair wrong, posture too still. You step forward. Your other self turns slowly, but where the face should be, there is only cloth, woven tightly. A face sewn from curtain threads, eyes drawn in stitching, mouth open, but no lips, just a dark slit between seams. You wake, choking. You're standing in the hallway, in front of the closed curtain door, hand outstretched, like you were about to knock. The lock is unturned. Your breath clouds the air, and behind the door, nothing, not even silence. A stillness too perfect to be natural. You step back into your room, into the light, and when you look down, your hand bears a faint mark, thin red lines, like thread pulled too tight, like stitches just undone. You begin writing things down to prove you still remember the dream, the face, The name, everything you can. You use a fountain pen. You write slowly, deliberately. The journal feels heavier than before, as if the pages are resisting. You leave it open beside your bed, a full page of notes, diagrams, even the pattern of the spiral hem, as best you can draw it. In the morning, the page is blank, not torn, not erased, just unwritten. The ink is gone. The page looks untouched. You try again. Next time, you use a pencil. Write faster. Repeat the name. You wait to find smudges only. Like someone brushed the words away with a careful hand. Only one fragment remains, a crooked little arrow pointing to the margin. Nothing else. You tried typing next, on your phone, on your laptop, but when you go back to check, the file's open, but the content is wrong. Sentences that weren't yours, words rearranged, and a phrase repeated over and over. Don't pull the thread. You don't remember writing it, but the cadence feels familiar. The spiral hem flashes in your mind. The way it seemed to pull inward. That night, you decide to try something different. You place your journal inside the curtain room, right in the center of the floor, open to a blank page, a pen resting in the crease. You leave the room, close the door, turn the lock, and wait. The apartment is hushed, like it's listening to. You don't sleep. You sit in the main room with a cup of something warm and tasteless, watching the hallway at 3:17 a.m. The light beneath the curtain room door flickers once, then steadies. You wait until morning. When the sun finally begins its slow arrival, you go back. The door unlocks easily. Inside, everything is where you left it, except the journal. It is closed now, the pen gone. You open it. A page has been written, not your handwriting. The lines curve, not straight. They loop like ribbon or stitched thread. One sentence. The thread is memory. Beneath it, a drawing, not a face, not exactly, but a shape. Curtains gathered into a hood, with a mouth beneath, wide, open, empty. You tear the page. Out! Take it with you. You try to scan it, but the file corrupts. You try to copy it by hand, but the lines twist, shift, like they refuse to be repeated. And when you check the original page again, it's blank. The ink, the shape, the message all faded, like a memory you were never meant to keep. It happens on a Thursday. You don't remember waking. You only remember standing in the curtain room, barefoot, hand on the fabric. The spiral hem pulses with warmth, faint, like a distant heartbeat, or something mimicking one. You don't decide to open it. You just do. The curtain parts without resistance. A soft sigh, like something finally released. And behind it, not the alley, not a street, not the city, your room. ... your exact room. But wrong. The colors are off, muted, bruised. Light trickles in as if underwater, and everything in that space is reversed, mirrored perfectly. Your books, your shoes, your coffee mug. Handle on the left, not the right. And there's someone standing in it still, facing you, not moving. They wear your clothes, stand your way, but it isn't you. Their head tilts slightly, the way yours did. In the dream, and where their face should be, only fabric. A soft veil, made of the same curtain, threaded with spirals, no eyes, just the sense that they are looking. Your throat tightens, you try to speak. Nothing comes, you look behind them. At the curtain on their side, it's drawn, just as yours was, but their window opens onto you, to rooms, to cells, one, pretending you reach up, fingers trembling, and touch the edge of the window frame. It's not glass, not wood, something soft, like pressed linen. But cool, dense. You press harder, and your finger sinks in, just slightly, like the window isn't barrier, but membrane. On the other side, the figure raises their hand, mimics you. But when their fingers touch the fabric, they pass through into your space. Only a little, just the fingertips, but it's enough. You stumble back, heart thudding, not fast, wrong, like a clock ticking out of sync. The figure lowers their hand again, and behind the cloth of their face, a mouth forms, not sewn, not human, a gap in the threads, open, waiting, and then they speak. No sound, no voice. But the words form in your mind like memory. We've been here longer than you. You try to look away, but the room begins to ripple, not shake. Ripple, like the world is fabric too. And someone just pulled the thread. The figure steps closer, not walking, sliding. Each footfall makes no sound, but leaves faint seams in the wood, like stitched impressions. You gasp. Reach for the curtain. Your curtain. Pull it. Closed. The cloth wraps around your wrist for just a moment, as if resisting, then loosens. Darkness, stillness, your breath in your ears. You step back, fall against the wall. The room no longer feels like yours, and when you glance at your desk, your coffee mug's handle is now on the left. The mirror room lingers. Even now, hours later, you can feel the impression of it, like a film laid over your vision. Color seems slightly wrong. Sounds echo a second too long. You speak aloud, just to hear your own voice, to prove. It's still you inside your body. It doesn't help. The apartment feels heavier now, stretched, like a suit worn too long, or someone else's skin pulled over your frame. You pace, retrace your steps, try to remember small things, how the faucet squeaked, where the crack in the tile was. Which light flickered first, and you notice something. All the little imperfections are gone. The squeaky tap runs smooth. The tile is whole. The light glows constant. It's all too clean, too corrected, like someone remembered your life, but not perfectly. And the curtain, it's closed, but feels open, as though Your side of the veil is now transparent, and theirs has grown thicker. You don't go near it, but you feel watched. You catch your reflection in a window, and for a breath too long. Your body doesn't move when you do. Just a blink behind, a glitch in the cloth. That night, the dreams return. This time, you are already behind the curtain. Inside it, threaded. You see through the fabric like a second skin. Everything filtered, softened, slowed. You move through the mirrored apartment, each step leaving faint patterns in the floor. Not dust, but symbols. The spiral grows. It pulses beneath your ribs, and the whisper is no longer outside of you. It's inside your breath, threaded through your pulse. You reach the curtain from the other side, touch it, and for a moment you see yourself, the real you, on the opposite side. Sleeping, curled, peaceful, and you wonder which side is real, which one is watching. A tear slips through the curtain. Yours, maybe, but it beads on the fabric like oil on water. Refused, you wake, but not in your bed. You're on the floor, beneath the curtain. Its hem brushes your cheek, and the black spiral thread is now longer, curved up along the fabric's edge, curling inward, pointing toward the center, and inside it, barely visible, one new word. Stitched in red, trade. You stop speaking aloud, not by choice. The words just lose shape. Thoughts still come, but your mouth forms silence when you try to hum. Even that soft rhythm you use to soothe yourself. Nothing passes your lips. It's not fear. It's thread. You feel it, not tight, but woven beneath your tongue, behind your jaw. The whispering has moved inside. Every time you try to speak, something tugs gently, as though unraveling might let too much slip. You write instead, but even your pen feels slower. You sketch the spiral again and again, no matter how you start it. It always ends in the same way. A question mark, inverted, a hook. You go to the curtain, not to open it, but to see. The spiral is fully grown now. No longer a hem, but a shape dominating. The fabric center, it pulses faintly in the dark, not glowing, not breathing, just waiting. The stitched lines now shimmer, not with thread, but with memory. That's what it feels like, as if someone's recollection of this curtain were being played back to you, not the thing itself. You stare too long. Something shifts. The spiral turns. Not physically. In your mind, you blink, and you're not in the room anymore. You're in a hallway, narrow, threadbare carpet, curtains on either side, hundreds of them, each drawn shut, and behind each one, a sound, whispers, sobbing, singing, breathless laughter. You walk. You don't remember choosing to. You brush your hand along the fabric, curtain after curtain, each one different, each one familiar. Then one opens, no hand pulls it. It just parts, and inside you see yourself, not mirrored, not sewn, just you, sitting, writing, head bowed, and behind you, another figure, veiled, spiraled, watching. You try to call out, but the words fail again. You reach out to touch the curtain and wake in the room. Kneeling, the curtain opened just a crack, and in the space between, stitched in fine red thread, you see it, the spiral center, the answer. It's a single glyph, unfamiliar, but your mind supplies the word anyway. Consent. The air pulls at you. Not wind, choice, as if the room has been asking all along, and now waits for your answer. You wait to silence, not the absence of noise, but the thick, velvet kind, the kind that folds around you like cloth, like curtains. You open your eyes and realize you never close them. But this is not your bed, not your floor, not your air. You're standing, already upright, already still. The room is yours, but not. Every object sits in its place. Every book, every cracked spine, every cup, but not quite. The pages are blank. The mugs are full, but the steam moves sideways, and the light from the window, it's wrong, heavy, muffled, gray with a tinge of rust. You turn toward the curtain. It's closed. You step toward it, not with dread, but with understanding. There is no lock, no seam, no spiral now, just fabric, taut, still warm. You reach for it and stop, because there's no draft here, no hum of outside life, no muffled steps from the upstairs neighbor. And when you look toward the door, there is no door, only wall, painted over as if it was never there. Your breath catches. The curtain shifts just slightly, and you hear it again. Your own voice on the other side, murmuring something, not words, but rhythm, a heartbeat, a lullaby. You press your ear to the curtain, slowly, and on the other side, a whisper, clear now, soft, close. This is the quieter room. You pull back, and something within you yields, not breaks, bends. You feel your pulse slow, your body soften. You are part of the hush now, not caged, not trapped, folded, like the silence that's sewn into the hem, like a name carefully hidden in the lining of a forgotten coat. You sit on the floor, back straight, hands resting gently in your lap. You don't need to sleep. You don't need to breathe loudly. The curtain guards all. The silence holds. The other version of you lives now, moves now, speaks now. You are the memory still, wrapped in linen and whisper. ... waiting to be unpicked, waiting to be remembered. The fabric has stilled, the last thread, tucked quietly into the hem. There is no wind, no door, no name to call, only the room. And the hush it holds. Let the silence cover you. Now, let your breath follow its rhythm. Soft, slow, like cloth folding into itself. If there are whispers, Let them drift by. They are only dreams, stitched by fingers that remember more than you do. You are not lost, just tucked away, safe in the seams of the hollow. When you wake, you may not remember the spiral. You may not recall the face behind the veil, but the hush will stay with you. It always does. And if ever you hear your own voice on the other side of a curtain, smiling, don't be afraid. You're just remembering what was never really gone. The tale has ended. Now sleep. If you can, I'll be just beyond the veil, listening.